Man, I feel like ass right now, but I'm fucking, I'm streaming now. Okay. Oh,
Was like really big here. We can check its
oh yeah,
peak play.
I was watching that. Um, player
Our
mode. Okay.
keyboard, we can also use the
Okay. So I'm watching this video and basically playlist of making a Unity game. I got some of it down, right? You know. Uh, I could actually lock the. Was it? I could actually lock the looking to left and right. Looks like another. Okay. I don't think it is actually. As a matter of fact. So if you want, yeah, close it. Please do. Doesn't make sense why it would be opened anyways. Alright, anyways, check this out. I locked the camera to it, and I got a little button to restart. Just press R. Okay, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. It's kind of bad, right? You know what I should do actually? Freeze all rotation, alright? Because, we want it to, like, move around. But anyways, let's
like the
see.
gravity or how responsive this key is. But and then gives it and click on
Edit.
Edit and on Project Settings. And here we have this Input Manager tab, where we can open this Access tab. And in here we have a lot of different key combinations and input methods that we can use in our game. For example, jump. And the benefit of using this over
Jump.
just hard coding space into our script like we did earlier is, for one, that we can make changes here.
Oh wait, what? Is it not set to that? Is it not set to that yet? Oops. Okay. Wow, would you look at that? Oh, whoa, woohoo.
Here we can change some stuff like the gravity or how responsive this key is. But for many of these keys, we can also use different combinations, and I'll handle them in the same if block. So for example, instead of moving left and right just with the arrow keys on our keyboard, we can also use the A and D keys, which are very common for games. So by using this horizontal axis, instead of hard coding the keys, we can handle all of this in one place without having to handle each key separately. So let's start with jumping. So I minimize this again and go into this jump block here. The name for this input method or for this key is jump, but this time with a capital J. And the button we have to press is space, the same as we did before. So let's go back into our script. We will remove this block here in a moment, but to see the differences, let's first add the new code. So I put this up here, and here we add another if block and check again for input dot, but this time we write get button down instead of get key down, because button refers to these input buttons that we just saw in Unity, whereas key refers to the specific key on the keyboard. So we use get button down
Jump.
And this time we write jump.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay, let me open up the script. Actually, something I found interesting. Alright, was that if you actually wanna, if you wanna, make a Unity game, you need to have the right, you need to put in the right, huh, get button, get button down, jump. Okay, now if we do Control S, head straight back to Unity. It still works because. Okay, well that's neat actually. Okay. Alright, that's neat.
In here, because this was the name of this button here in the input manager with a capital J. If you write it wrong, it will not respond at all. Y velocity to 5. But as I already explained, we don't want to set the velocity in the other two directions to 0, otherwise we will always stop moving back and forth when we hit the X frame before. So this way we don't stop moving as soon as we jump.
Why did he start doing that?
Let's remove this block here, which is now empty, because we've replaced the keys for the input methods. And then let's see what we can use for the other.
Hold on. There was like a hair in my mouth. RB velocity or RB dot velocity dot X. Okay. So I guess this would mean like RB dot velocity. So it would kind of like, let's see. Huh. Oopsie. Okay. So how about this? Huh. Bro, my guy, what? Okay, hold on. Probably need to do that. Control S. Head back to Unity. Then play. Bro, what? Oh my god. Oh, oops. Oh, X and Z, duh. Oh my gosh. How did I forget about... I forgot about the Z axis. I forgot it even exists. Okay. I can change the execution order? That's neat, actually. Okay, so I kind of screwed with that, and it's really screwed with now. Oh, hold on. Hold on. What? What?
The
What?
directions. So back into the project settings, and to move
Okay, hold on. So he was doing something earlier, though.
in start, we assign it, because again, this assign here. This right, he does that we are seeing because language is and is a retrieval number
Then it
and
goes
up
on.
to you.
And whole
Now the
number.
reason why we
Okay.
get the rigid headed stuff, you don't have here one for each new to a lower, but the N is uppercase. That's called camel case, and it's the naming convention for variable point. They can notes as let's call it decimal number, and it can contain something like 3.45. And then we otherwise it just whenever we pass a float somewhere like down here, we can also add this prefix to it. Sometimes this is not necessary because the
What will
compiler
it do
can
to the number? Will it like multiply 5 to that? I'm so confused.
basically
Float decimal number equals. Wouldn't you just do a normal number? What does
infer what we want to pass, but I like to be explicit about it. So since the vector 3 expects floats, I like to add the f behind all of these numbers here, just to make it more explicit
how would that
for
help?
us to read. The other two button we have to press is space, the same as we did before. So let's go back into our script. For example, so -1 means we are moving it left. The hand is a value that we get inside update every time it is called.
Whoa.
And we order this
Okay.
value we get from this axis somewhere. And of course we store this in a variable. So here we create a float because this is what we get back, a decimal number. Let's call it horizontal input. Again, this name is up to you. It should just be something descriptive so you understand at first glance what this is for. And then we write input, get axis.
Equals input dot get access. Hold on, why input? Get access, but why input?
And pass the name of the axis as a.
I mean, oh, we're getting the, okay, I see. I see. Or it's not. Alright. Get access. I cannot spell, dude. I cannot spell. Horizontal. That is a weird word. Sounds like something like. Is that an actual? What? Horizontal. Horizontal. Yeah, that sounds about right. So then we kind of need to do the same thing, except with the vertical axis. Except we need to vertical input. Okay, so we need to do that because there's a horizontal input and vertical input. Let me show you. I like explaining this kind of stuff to myself after he does it, so I can get a better, so I can get a better, like, understanding of it. Edit, project settings, see, horizontal, alright, negative button and positive button, left and right. Positive button, no, alt negative button is A, alt positive button is D. Alright, so we can also, like, do that, you know.
A string like this. Now in every frame, we will check this axis and store the direction we are getting here in this float variable. Now this is a local variable. We created it in here, so it only lives inside this update method. This, on the other hand, is a variable that we put directly into the block of this whole class. So it basically stays alive as long as this whole class or this object is alive, which means that it keeps its value. When do we use one over the other? Now we always use a variable in the smallest scope where we need it. We need the rigid body in both start and update, because here we assign it and here we use it. So we don't have a choice other than creating it up here, because if we created it in start, we couldn't access it in update and vice versa. Horizontal input, on the other hand, is a value that we get inside update every time it is called, and we only need it in here. So there's no reason for it to make it a variable here inside this class.
Why
We could do it,
get access? Oh, you know what? You know what? It might be so I could get its
but it would be
velocity,
bad
but that wouldn't
practice
make
because
sense.
the scope is unnecessarily large, which makes it easier to introduce bugs later. But you don't have to get this perfect, so don't worry if you don't understand this right away. And then we also want to get the vertical input. So float vertical input called vertical
See.
in the Unity editor. Actually, hence, so let's end here. Instead write RB3 horizontal input between minus, and we use right have a negative value. So we multiply 5 with -1 for example.
Oh, dude. Oh my god, it just hit me. That makes so much more sense. Hold on. Hold on. So I know. Now, hold on. Hold on. RB dot velocity star equals what? You didn't do star equals new vector 3. Just like, okay. New vector 3. Uh, something like this. Okay, definitely. X. On, because we got. That's okay. So up and down is Y. Okay, vertical input for left and right. Okay. Okay, so that should work. Okay. So now if we go back to Unity. Wait, hold on. We did the Control S, right? Yep, we sure did. Okay. So I got a little mixed up now. But we could go diagonally now. Okay, now it should probably work. And it works. Okay. See, here's what happened. Oh my god, this makes so much sense. This makes so much more sense now. Okay, let's go back to edit. Preferences. Project settings. Alright, it's actually project settings. um, okay, check this out. Okay, so here, right? So, rigid body RB, right? We wanted to we wanted to shorten rigid body to RB. You know how fast it is just to call upon rigid body by just typing in RB? Extremely fast, right? Then right, so there's now a rigid body variable that is called RB. So we can now call upon RB and use it like normal, right? Now, we can also do rb.getComponent and then the thingy rigid body, because that's basically just what we're going to be using if we're going to be using rigid body. Alright, if we're going to do rigid body, we're just going to put in rb, or for this, right? rb equals getComponent rigid body, right? Because we want to get the rigid body component. It's like if you were doing it with the transform one. You would do transform t, right? You do transform t or something like that. And then t equals get component, and then inside the little arrows, you do okay. Okay, yeah. Inside these little arrows, you put transform, and then you would do that because it was something I forget. It's for something. I've done this before a million times though, especially with stuff like this, for example. Timer 1.start, stuff like that. We could actually make a timer. I don't know how I would do that because I've never like manually typed in and made a timer like that. I've only done it through like window forms. However, but anyways, so now for this part, right? Float hor input. I shouldn't say that out loud, but I mean that's literally the short term for what I'm just trying to make, right? Float horizontal input equals input dot get axis horizontal. Get axis horizontal right here, left and right. Okay, which is just A and D, right? You could do left and right either with the arrow keys or A and D with the, A and D normally. Alright, so it's just the same thing, right? So they automatically put that there over in the input manager in horizontal. We're going to call upon it, alright? So input dot get access or get axis, alright? Input. Remember that input. That means it's going to be getting the button we're pressing in horizontal, okay? So if we're pressing A, alright, it's gonna detect that, alright, as it says, input.getAxis horizontal. And then same thing with vertical, right? Go to vertical, same thing. W and S, right? Alt negative button, S, Alt W button, W. Now of course I think we could change it. Um, Alright, anyways. RB dot velocity equals the thing set for here, right? Let's go to horizontal. I think we could like change it. Oh, you know what we can do actually if we want to change the velocity? I think we can do this. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we can do +1, 2, actually. We could try that. +2. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's check over here. See, now +2. It's possible it's gonna work, and it's possible. No. Okay. It automatically just starts moving it, which makes sense. So now we gotta go into the settings for this Unity project. There we go. Jeez Louise. Let's see. Alright, so I bet it's actually in Unity. Alright, you know, I want to go faster. What's plastic SCM? Plastic account? Hey, I don't give a crap about plastic, man. No, I want to remove it. You can't even right click it without it opening it up already. Whatever the hell. I don't give a crap. Okay, so I can go to, what am I? Okay, yeah. It's an edit, project settings, dead? What? What does it even mean by that? Dead, what's dead mean by any chance?
Example, we really cool point where we can move only a little bit left or a little bit right, for example. Because if we have, for example, a horizontal input of 0 to 5, so we don't, so again, vertical in the semicolon. And then let's reload to Unity and try it out.
5F.
So we let it reload.
Okay, this is not making sense anymore.
And now settings.
Nuh-uh, you can't do that fast.
And then let's go back into
Hold up. What the hell? I need to see this. Okay, I know I have my Grunch, piss color yellow. Piss yellow. I like saying that. Piss yellow. But seriously, fuck. Times 5F. Man, you're just doing. What does that 5F or whatever the hell mean?
Unity and try it out.
Okay, I don't get it. Horizontal RV velocity equals new vector, blah blah blah. But what the hell? I'm so confused, man. Actually, I should probably move this above because of the way it acts for some reason. But like this. Alright, now let me try to do this like normal, right? Times 5. Times 5. Let me just do times 5 normally. I want to see what the hell this means, right? Because it's starting to not make much sense anymore. It just doesn't make much sense anymore, so getting a little more confused because of it. Now let's see if it's just gonna move my guy. No, it doesn't. So I don't know what the hell this whole plus thing is. Alright, or not plus, but like the fucking F at the end of his stuff. Alright, I don't know what it's supposed to do. If it's supposed to indicate it's a float. I don't get it. I'm in my stream not because I'm fucking raging or whatever, but just because I got family members over and I just, I just got family members.